Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. This is Mary. You're at the Mary D Show, and my name is Mary D. Welch. Welcome, 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 and welcome all the replay viewers. I like to thank all of each and every one of you. Anytime you spend time with me, I love it because I enjoy spending time with you. I know today I like to tell you guys we have such an exciting guest. This gentleman, he's a world-renowned motivational speaker. He comes to you. I mean, when I tell you full of energy, he is an innovator, founder of the GOAT Academy. He is an author. When I tell you, the name of his book is The Mentality Changer. This is the man. I want to introduce to you this wonderful gentleman and my friend. His name is Kyle Greene. Kyle, you there?
I am here, Mary. What's up? How are you? I am super excited to be with you, man. You on the West Coast, I'm on the East Coast, and StreamYard has made us come together. I'm excited.
Yeah. Oh, me too. Me too. I tell you, we met. How did we meet, Kyle? Was it on Clubhouse?
It was on Clubhouse. I think either I might have was doing a room around writing a book, and you might have popped in.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we kind of, or did I meet you through? It might have been that, right?
It was.
I can't remember. I know it was Clubhouse. I definitely know it was Clubhouse.
It was Clubhouse.
And did you see that Clubhouse has opened it up to Android devices now?
Mm-hmm. I know. I have a club on Clubhouse, and I'm on. I'm just trying to determine what time. So those of you that don't know what we're talking about, let me explain. Because we're talking, and people go like, "What are they talking about?" There is an app called Clubhouse. It is on your phone. It was for about 8-9 months. You could only get on if you had an iPhone. So there were millions of people on there. Some of you may have already heard of Clubhouse. Totally free, another social media, but really, really phenomenal because it's all audio. There's nothing visual. And that is the big difference in that sense. So that's what we're talking about. And now Clubhouse is open to everybody. So anybody can get on Clubhouse. And if you're interested, go to my website, marydwelch.com, and you can find out how to get, you'll get on my email and you'll find out when I'm on Clubhouse and you can come into my club. So Kyle, let's go. This is all about you though.
Nah, man, no, I'm happy you was talking because I was sharing it to all of my pages, all of my groups. I'm glad you said that so I know people are like, dang, he's just looking down. Nah, I'm sharing it. I want everybody to tune in. So that's what I was doing.
Oh, okay. Well, first I'd like to welcome you, but Kyle, you not only are you a motivational speaker, you didn't just become a motivational speaker. How did you get there, Kyle? How did you become a motivational speaker?
So if we think back, right, in 2012, before we had George Floyd, before we had Sandra Bland, before we had Walter Scott, before we had Tamir Rice, before we had like the guy who was running in the neighborhood and got shot, before we had the guy that was in the fast food at Wendy's and got shot, before we had any of those, right, Trayvon Martin had happened. And I remember I was sitting in my living room and I was watching Trayvon Martin mom speak. And she said this could have happened to any one of our sons. And she was talking about her son, Trayvon Martin. My son came downstairs. He gave me his rock star hoodie. He said, "Yo, Dad, I can't wear my hoodie anymore because I might get killed like Trayvon Martin." At that point, something inside of me had awakened. Something inside of me had like rose up. And I did not want my son, who was like 7 at the time, to think that he could not wear his rock star hoodie, his favorite hoodie, because he might get killed like Trayvon Martin. So I went on my social media platform, Facebook. I said, "Hey, what do y'all think about doing a rally for Trayvon Martin?" It was late Wednesday night, early Thursday morning. That event went viral in 2 days. In 2 days, man, it went viral, Mary. I called it the One Hoodie March in honor of Trayvon Martin. It blew up. It went viral. That is what started Kyle Speaks.
You know, I'm not kidding, Kyle. I start getting chills listening to you, just listening to you, because the reason it blew up, truthfully, it was personal. This wasn't something this was what your son did when he came downstairs was say, "Dad, I'm not safe. I'm not safe in this world." And just to hear those words from your son, it's like, this can't be. I can't just let this go. I can't just let it be like to create that. Now, when you did the march, Was there, you had speakers, you had, how did it go? What was it all about? What happened?
So what's crazy is, so when I did this march, right, when I planned it, and sometimes, man, and anybody that's listening, God will give you a vision, right? But then
Yeah.
he'll bring people into your life to make that vision, to make that dream a reality. So I
Yes.
was the visionary. I was the person that saw it. But then
Right.
he brought to me, like, my good friend Melanie Williams. He brought to me my good friend Chris Sullivan. He brought to me all of these people who had other different connections, and they were able to take the vision that I had and to make
Mhm.
it into what I wanted it to be. So we had speakers, we had county council, city council, state representatives. We had parents who had lost a kid through the violence. We had all of these political figures, community figures. We signed people up to register to vote. I mean, we had everything in place in 2 days,
Mm.
Mary. I called it the
Woo.
1,000 Hoodie March in honor of Trayvon Martin. That was the name that I gave it. In 2 days, I got to Finley Park in downtown Columbia, South Carolina. It was 3,700 people that was present.
In 2 days.
In 2 days, the event went viral. People saw the vision. People wanted to be a part of something that was bigger than themselves, because oftentimes that's where you find purpose in your life, when you find the thing that's bigger than yourself.
Mhm.
And when I
Yeah.
found that, and other people were really hungry, eager to be a part of that, because think about this. Trayvon Martin was the really first social media death that really galvanized our, like, attention span. I
Right.
mean, George Floyd, it took that to another level, but Trayvon Martin was really the first,
It
and I did
was. It
that.
was.
I did that when it grew into what it became.
Oh my God. It is. I mean, the just the fact that that would happen in basically just to say in a 72-hour period. Now, this is just, it galvanized. It had to galvanize the community to that this not happen again, basically. And unfortunately, it has happened again. And this is even now as we're faced with what's going on in our society because of George Floyd. There, I don't know. I don't. Something has to stop. It has to stop. Is all I can best. It's just like there's no doubt. The racism, everything is so blatantly obvious. It's not. There is no hiding behind anything.
Right.
How old is your son now?
So KJ is currently 15. So that happened when he was 7. He was about in the 3rd grade. And what's crazy is I just saw Gwendolyn Sanger in a comment. She said, "I have 3 sons." I can totally agree. I had so many parents who had sons that were there
Mhm.
because they wanted their sons to see something different about that situation. Like, they wanted to know that their sons was protected, that their community had their back. And anybody that's listening out there, man, I see we got quite a few people on. Please
Mhm.
share the video. I need for you to share it. We need to get this message out, man. Oftentimes things go viral on social media. If somebody fighting, somebody slapping somebody, stuff
Right.
like that. But this is a great conversation. This is great content. So please hit the share button. But so I can get back to, so I did that event when my son was 7. He's now 15. He has a whole different mindset and a whole different mentality around racism, around what he can do, what he can do, and how to act out in public when he's not around me. Because when we have kids, man, you understand, when you have kids, it's like,
Right.
yo, what can I instill in my kids at an early age, so when they're not around me, they can
Right.
still embody the culture and the principles and the values that I've instilled in them, because I know the world is going to look at them so differently. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Right. Oh yeah, because that's we have sons too, sons and daughters, and I know would we really I mean, in such society to look at them for who they are, for not this color of their skin, as we know that's what Martin Luther King has said forever, and that character is what we've all been seeking. But we're not there yet. We're not
Right.
there, and I think, but as a motivational speaker, how do you? What has happened in to get you, other than that one incident with your son? Was that a turning point to lead you to become a motivational speaker?
That definitely was. So that moment happened.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell anybody that's listening, you take moments in your life and you can turn them into movements. I'm going to say that again. You can take a moment in your life and you can turn it into a movement. I took the Trayvon Martin moment and I created the Cal Speaks movement. And as a result of that, I started speaking into schools, elementary, middle, high schools, nonprofit organizations, DJJ, prisons, churches, youth organizations, Gear Up, Dare. I want to start speaking at all of these events, right? Because I wanted to give kids a head start on purpose. I wanted to get them to reach deep down inside and to tap into their potential for greatness, because everybody has the potential to be great. You just need sometimes somebody to help you unlock it. So I would go into schools and I would kind of be that key. I would be the voice to the voiceless. I would go give hope to the hopeless. I would go put out fire that's in flaming situations to give kids hope, because our future is dependent on the success and the tools that we give our young people. So as a result, man, of me finding my purpose in life, I now help others, especially young people, find their purpose in life. I see my homeboy, Craig King. He's currently he just logged in. Craig, what's up, man? Craig is somebody, he had an event at a church that he goes to, Saving Our Boys, if I can remember correctly. And he had me and 4 other guys to get up and speak and to just pour into young men, because, man, our future is dependent. The success of our future is dependent on our boys.
It really is. And we do want to say thank you to the people that made comments, from Richard Nichols, and it was Gwendolyn Stringer, Craig King, and also from Connie King. Thank you all. Anybody, you can make comments, whether on Facebook, on YouTube, and they come through. We definitely would like to acknowledge you. This, I mean, like you said, I'm going to tell you what resonated with me is when you said you can take a moment and make it into a movement. That is,
hey, I mean, think about this, Mary. Think about this. When Rosa Parks sat on a bus, that was a moment. When Martin Luther King gave a speech at the sanitation workers in Alabama, was he in Mississippi? Anyway, like that was a moment. When he gave the "I Have a Dream," like those were all moments that led to the civil rights movement. That movement that still goes on to this day. The Voting Rights Act for women, like it took a woman being bold enough to say, you know what, man, I have the same amount of power and the same amount of say as a man. Why can I not vote? It took a woman, like that was a moment, and the women's rights like movement. You can take moments in your life and you can make them into a movement. That's all I did.
Well, I can tell you too, I know that in addition to that, I know you became a speaker. You also have become an author. Now, this is, I mean, I'm partial to authors. I know what it takes, and I know the determination to start a project, and not just start it, but to see it, to the end and finish and publish. Now, what is the name of your book, Kyle?
All right, so let me just say what really motivated me to write my first book, because I was writing it for like 2 or 3 years. Like, I'm not sure when you work with your clients with First Book Academy, I'm not sure if they said, man, I've been writing this book, that book for like 2 or 3 years. And then on June the 17th, 2015, my mentor, Reverend Senator Clemente Pinckney, he was murdered in his church in Charleston, South Carolina, at Mother Emanuel. That was my mentor. He saw something in me that I did not see within myself. And he saw it when I was 16 in the 10th grade. I remember telling him, I said, man, I'm about to become a dad. I said, I got this girl pregnant. I said, man, my life is about to cease to exist as I once knew it. And he said, yo, Kyle, I don't care about the mistakes that you made. All I care about is what you do with the rest of your life. And he took me under his wing. So when he was murdered, a certain part of me had died, because I just knew how quick of your life can be going just that fast. They went in the Bible study. Dylan Roof walked in there. They invited him with warm, welcoming arms, and then he killed them while they were praying. So at that moment, I said, you know what? I got to make sure I complete this book, because I need to have something that still lives when I'm no longer here. So I wrote my first book, man. It's called The Mentality Changer, a journey to help change how you once thought about you. because anybody that's listening, I want you to understand this. Nothing in your life will ever change until you change the way you think. When you change the way you think, you then change your circumstances. As a result of you changing your circumstances, you affect and you change everybody else around you. I can't tell other kids that I want them to live a purpose-driven life and that you can reach for the stars if only you believe. Like, I can't tell other kids that if my kids wasn't living it, if I wasn't living it. So I had to change my mindset, my mentality, and now I change mindsets and mentalities all over the world.
That is impressive. Let me tell you, like I said, the first time we met, it was a connection. The first time. And your positivity, your energy, it's always been just, for me, it's not to the roof, it's through the roof. It's it's one of those, because I admire you, your family. I said this gentleman has it going on. He is like he wrote that, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was is it your second book about you and your daughter?
Yeah, so my second book is called #Father-Daughter Goals. How a beautiful bond between a father and his daughter was formed by a simple promise. And that simple promise was this. When I had her when I was 16 in 10th grade, I said, hey, yo, God, man, if my family don't turn their backs on me, because, when kids young have kids, man, family kind of look at you funny. I said, if my church don't shun me, I said, if my teachers don't look at me any differently, if my friends still see me as Kyle, like if nobody turned their back on me, I said, yo, I'll be the greatest dad that I can possibly be to my daughter. And so that was the promise. And so me and her, we wrote a book together called #Father-Daughter Goals, because everybody see us and they always say, man, y'all goals, man. Y'all like, I wish I had a relationship or a bond with my dad. Like my daughter, man, that's my best friend. Like, that's my best friend in the whole entire world. And my son is too. But, I had my daughter when I was 16. So we kind of grew up together. So we wrote a book 2 years ago. And what's crazy is, so it took me 2 years to write this book, right? It took me 1 month to write this one.
Oh my goodness!
1 month. So my church, I go to Ford City Church, and anybody that's out there, if you ever heard of Travis Green, he sang, he's intentional, never, or you made a way, don't know how. Oh, anyway, I can't sing a little bit.
you sound just fine.
So at our church, Ford City, right, Pastor Trav, every year we go on this social media fast, and so it's no social media. And so my daughter came to me on like day 2 or 3, and she was like, yo, Dad, let's write that book we was talking about. So we went to the library every single day, except for on the weekends. We would spend 3 or 4 hours, and we just wrote this book. And then we would read each other what we wrote. I'm like, oh, man, that sounds good. Like, oh, man, that sounds good. We finished the book at the beginning of February, like February the 2nd. I sent it to my friend who does editing. She edited the book. She got it back to us in like 2 or 3 weeks. We had already we took the picture, created the cover, and we had it. And so that was January. March 26th, we had our book signing.
Whoa.
Yes.
But this makes her a published author too.
Yep, makes her a published author too. Yep.
Oh my God. And she's 16. Your daughter's 16. She's 17.
No, my daughter is 23. So I had her at 16.
Okay, got you. And I don't think you know this. My mother had me at 16.
Well, see, we kindred spirits.
I tell you. And so here it is, the same exact,
dynamic.
I always felt like, many times, that even though she was my mom, like you said, my best friend, but like a big sister to me.
Yeah.
My mother, I always knew she was I never doubted. I mean, it was never questioned. This is my mother. But I always knew I could go to her with anything. So I know how your daughter feels. I do. And not that your son doesn't feel like that. I think he feels the same way too. But
the dynamics of both of my kids are different. Like, my daughter is much more, daddy's girl. She's under me. She loves me. Give me tell me what's going on. Like, my son, he does that more with his mom. Me and him is just basketball. We love him. We hang out. But the dynamics of our relationships are different. But I'm not just #Father-Daughter Goals. I'm actually father-son goals, because I have just an awesome relationship with my son as I do with my daughter. So anybody that's listening, if you got a son or a daughter, just make sure that you spend the same amount of time, the same amount of attention. You go to the same type of events. You go to the same number of events. You do the same things, because you don't want one kid to start feeling like you love one kid more, because then once you kind of put that division, then that starts messing up the psyche of your children. And I always tell my kids, man, I love it when y'all love each other. Like when they give me a hug and give me a kiss on the cheek. Like I love when my kids do that, because I do that to both of my children.
Right. And it makes a difference.
Yes.
Difference. What you really you're showing your son too, it's okay to show affection as opposed to not show affection.
Exactly.
As a man, to show that is huge, because he modeled for him. That makes a difference. But I know too, we getting into everything. We haven't even talked about your places you have spoken to, kids you have spoken to, lives you have changed, your GOAT Academy, and so much more. Let's start with GOAT. How did you come up with the GOAT Academy, which I just love, by the way?
So when you think about the GOAT, right, we think that's just synonymous to NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball. We think of Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Tom Brady. We think about like all of those people who we considered the GOAT. But I think that you can become the GOAT in whatever industry that you occupy. So if you're doing real estate, if you're doing makeup, if you're making candles, if you're a motivational speaker, like it does not matter what you do. You can become the GOAT in whatever industry like you find yourself in. All you have to do is just dominate it. You have to be elite. You have to be tenacious. You got to be great. And that's what really makes those great players. That's what makes them the GOAT. So if you take those same attributes and characteristics that we give on players, right, and if you incorporate it into your personal life, you can become the GOAT in whatever industry you occupy. Because I'm the GOAT when it comes to motivational speaking.
I love it.
So go, baby.
GOAT Academy, that you can, no matter what it is, be the GOAT.
You can be the GOAT.
The greatest of all time. And that's the bottom line for whatever it is. So what you're saying, you don't give 100%, you give 1,000% to whatever it is.
Every single speech that I give, once I'm finished, if I died on the way home, they will say, yo, he gave the greatest speech that he could ever give. Like I give it every ounce of me. Like I give that into like, cause motivational speaking, like that's my calling. That's my purpose. That's what I was created. It was something, like I'm reading a book by, Dr. Miles Monroe, The Power of Vision. And he talked about having sight versus having vision. And he said, sight is just what you see with the eyes. Vision is what you see in the heart. Like he said, God created, he already knew like your life was predestined before he even brought you in earth. So it was something that had to be done in earth, and he had already knew it in heaven. So he just created you to accomplish his will here on earth. So it's like we live in God past, even though it's in our present. So like everybody's life has a purpose. You were created. It's an assignment on your life, and you have to figure out what like my purpose is to inspire lives, to give people hope, to change narratives, to change mindsets. Like I know that's what so I am the GOAT in doing that. When it comes to helping people write their books, First Step Academy, like you are the GOAT in helping people to birth out their first book. Everybody has a book inside of them. It's just waiting for you to birth it out. And somebody like Mary Welch, who is a GOAT in that area, can help you do it.
Oh, thank you. And I love helping people do it too. I feel like I agree with you 1,000%. Everybody has it, but it's they don't believe it. That's what they don't believe it, so they don't want to, or they don't think they can take the step. I don't know what it is, but then again, it took a while for it to get there for me. What you mentioned early, like you said, a moment turned into a movement. What happened for me is actually going through some very close family members passing away. It ended up pushing a creativity out of me that I didn't even know I had.
Wow.
And I'll be honest with you. It was really painful. And at the same time, what my children tell me, they're like, Mom, I don't think you would have got there any other way. That pain pushed it out, because I was grasping for life at one point. I was just trying to keep living. And that's for me. And it made me show up in another way that I never even knew existed. So, but I would really encourage anybody, start a journal. Those of you that say, you know, you want to write, you're not really sure, just start writing a journal because it'll help you get those juices flowing. And then before you know it, you'll have your book.
So what do you say? I know you're supposed to be interviewing me, but we're gonna do it both ways. So what do you say? So you have somebody write a journal, which is really good. I definitely recommend that. So once they already been writing that journal, right? How do they know? And I know the answer, but I'm just trying to help somebody else. How do they then know what to then do with what they've written in the journal? How do
You know, my advice is to get a coach. Not that it has to. I never want to sound like it has to be me, but get someone. That's what I did. I'm just going to tell you what I did. I invested in myself. And the way I did that was I got a coach. I got a book coach to help me with the writing and publishing my book. And once I went through the first book, next thing I went through the next book, because once you finish one, easy. Well, like you said, it took you years to write the first one. The second one was done in a month.
Exactly.
Because I tell people this all the time. The hardest part is to start. If you can get that first book, I'm gonna be. I mean, now I have so many books written. I don't even want to talk about it because it's like no. Because how could I go from 4 years ago I didn't have any, and now they come to me. It's almost like I think almost like once a week I write a book now, and I'm writing children's books for the most part. I do have some books for adults, but I would tell anybody, ladies, gentlemen, you can do this. And this is what you don't want to. This is how it got me going too. I didn't want to die and find out it was something else I could have done. Sounds crazy, doesn't it?
No, that sounds good.
Because I didn't want that to happen. I didn't want to leave this earth and then be like, you mean there was something else I could have done? Right. I never gave myself a chance to find out. I'm telling everybody this now, if you ever wanted to write a book, period, I mean this, I don't care who you use as a coach, get someone to coach you and help you. And I'm going to tell you why. There will come a time you'll be like, oh, I don't think I can do this. Like you said, it took you 2.5 years to write the first book?
Yes.
Somewhere in there was that, I don't know if I can really do this stuff. That, that you start losing faith in ourselves.
No, Mary, I told myself, I talked myself out of writing the book because I said, nobody gonna read my book. Nobody want my book. What, man, my mom was on drugs. My dad wasn't in the home. My grandmother raised me. I had a daughter when I was 16 in the 10th grade. I was educated in one of the worst school districts in South Carolina. I could not read when I was a kid. Nobody want to read a book. I mean, I'm a loser. Like, Kyle, nobody want to read your book. Like, what are you thinking about, bro? Like writing a book? Like I talked myself out of writing the book for 2 years.
Tell me.
I did not think that I was good enough.
Kyle, what you're saying, I did the same thing. I'm gonna tell you how bad it was. One of my very best friends told me when I wrote my second book, nobody's gonna buy your book. This was actually told to me. I'm serious. And when she said it, there was a part of me that believed it. That's what's so bad about this. She was joking. No, number one, she wasn't joking. Because she said, why do people need a book to tell them how to say no? Because my second book is Saying No Nicely. And she said, Mary, people are not going to buy that. They know how to say no. I said, no, they don't. And she's like, how do you know? I said, because I'm one of those people.
Right.
And I'm one of those people. I promise you, there's other people.
Right.
The book went number one within 3 days.
Yeah.
Number one. And I thought, oh my God, what if I had believed that? Like you said, you talking yourself out of it.
And then Mary, what's another thing too? Some people won't write their own book, or they won't start their own business, or they won't take that dream in their heart and then make it a reality. Is because they are afraid of, dang, what if I become successful? What if this book sells millions of copies? What if people want to bring me on their television shows and interview me? Like, what if they want me on podcasts? I'm scared of success. I'm scared to be successful. Like, I don't know what success looks like, and I don't want that. Like, I just want to be kind of rich, and I want to not kind of be poor, but I don't really want to be successful. But I do want money to buy the things that I want to have. Like sometimes people will not even make a dream a reality because they are afraid of what success would look like.
They're afraid of what does it mean? Because and you're absolutely right. What does it look like? What will it mean to me if I'm successful now? Will that mean I have to move? Will that mean what is it gonna, like you said, what does it look like? What does success look like? And I'm gonna tell you, I'm listening to you and I'm just like, if this is not me, I'm just
Right.
people, because there's that fear of success. People think it's the fear of failure. I'm gonna be honest with you, Kyle. I think you're absolutely right. I think it's the fear of success.
Yes.
That's what because there is a fear. There's a fear. I guess my fear was I end up listening to. I always talk about this. Is Gary V. Those of you know who he is. Okay, and cuss like a sailor.
Cuss like a sailor.
But I don't care. I had to put that. Look, I'm not worried about with that part. I'm worried about the things when that man said, put blinders on and live your life as though nobody cares what you do. My life changed.
Right.
I think I really did care what people thought. I really did. I'm not gonna lie. I really was one of those people. But when you can get past that and just be who you are, and that's who you are, Kyle. You just said, I'm being who I am. You are living in your purpose and living in, you get a joy from watching people become who they are.
Yes. And I just wanted to say, Gwendolyn Stringer, she has said, a coach provides accountability. Good idea. Like Gwendolyn, I know we backtracked, but I just saw her message. But yes, like a coach, when you get a book coach, you get a brand coach, like they provide you with tips, advice, encourage, because sometimes you need to just be encouraged. They help get you where you need to go because they've already been there. So why do you think like they hire coaches in the NFL who already won championships? It's because they already knew what it took to get to the mountaintop. When I wanted to become a motivational speaker, I paid $997 for this guy named Manuel Scott. If you know the movie Freedom Riders, his character is one, because that's based on a true story. He's one of the characters based in that movie. The light-skinned kid that sits in the back. That's my mentor. Like that was in 2013. I paid $997. If you want to get to that next level in your life, I don't care what you're doing. You have to invest in your dreams. You have to invest in yourself. You have to bet on you, and you have to find somebody that has already done what you're trying to do that's going to help you get to that next level in your life.
It's the truth. I mean, and really, like you said, what you're doing is you're betting on you. You're betting on you. And really what a coach does is you don't have to go through those lumps and bumps that you will have. It really, I'm not going to say you're not going to go through any, but it really removes a lot of them. And I'll be honest, I was at a point in life, I said, I don't have the time to try and figure this thing out. I'm not at the point in life where I need to tell me what I need to know.
Right.
I'm serious. I say, what is it that I need to know? What is it? What do I need? I don't want to go through all that. Just tell me what do I need to know? When you were talking about your story though, of everything you've been through, I'm listening to you and I'm like, it's the power of why you're sitting here today is phenomenal. If you really think about what did it take for you to get past everything you were talking about and to come into who you are, into your power as a man? So,
Lavinia Humphrey, thank you so much. Good talk. Yeah, Mary's absolutely amazing. I'm just glad to be a guest on her show. But what it took me when I was a kid, right? Mm-hmm. I would cry almost every night because my mom wasn't there. And I would be like, man, like I see my friends, like one of my friends, Devron Dobson is on DJ. We one of my best friends. I got 3 best friends, 2 of them from middle school and high school, DJ, Shannon, and then Snook. And I remember when I would see my friends, their mom would bring them cookies for their birthday to school, and they would have nice clothes. And some of my friends in high school had cars. And I remember crying, and I would be so mad with God and my mom. I'm like, man, why is my mom not here? Like, why she just chose drugs and I got to wear the same clothes over and over again? And Like my grandmother, she was on a fixed income, so she didn't have a whole lot. And I didn't understand why I had to go through all of that, right? I didn't understand it until I gave like my first speech at this school. It was called King Street Senior High, and it was to their 10th graders. And it was about 400 of them. I had so many kids come up to me crying and saying, Mr. Kyle, man, I'm going through the same thing. My mom, she not there. My dad isn't there. I had a child. I didn't think that I could make it. I did not know the value of my story until I shared it with somebody else. And once I saw that my story was freeing other people, I said, you know what, man, God, now I see why I had to go through that. Now I see why I had to endure all of those nights crying. Now I see why my mom was on drugs for so long, and I had to go through that pain, because I had to share that pain and that journey with other students to show them, yo, if I did it, I might have drove up here in a white BMW, a 525, but I remember when I ain't had a car, I remember I would have to walk and catch a ride to football practice, and I would have to catch a ride back. So I knew exactly what it feels like. I knew exactly what it felt like when I lived in a house that had a whole lot of roaches in it, and all we had to eat was a syrup sandwich. I told my son that one time. He said, Dad, what's a syrup sandwich? I said, boy, go get 2 pieces of bread and get some syrup. And I said, put some syrup on it and put the bread on top. That's a syrup sandwich. I was like, bro, that's when I knew that's all I had to eat. Like, I knew why I had to go through all of that. And it was because I had to experience it so I could help free somebody else. My pastor, Jackie, Pastor Trav wife, always say, free people, free people. So I had to go through all that adversity. I had to go through all that heartbreak. I had to cry all those tears because it was somebody that I was going to free on the other side.
Woo! Because you think of, I mean, that just hearing your story, you know how many kids were like, because they were holding it in. They didn't know anybody else had experienced it.
Right.
Only ones.
And when I go to these schools, right, and this is why it's so important that schools bring in motivational speakers. And when you were saying somebody get a coach and you was like, you don't got to be me. Heck no, I'm going to say this. Bring me in. Like when you want to bring, I'm going, because I know what I do.
You're right.
So these kids need motivation. These kids need to feel hope, because they go to these schools and some of them don't even like going to school. They don't even feel like they have a reason to live. It's somebody that has to speak life into death. And when I say death, I don't mean in the physical realm, but I mean in their like subconscious spirit. Somebody needs to speak life. So something inside them say, yo, hold up. I'm acting a fool in school. I'm being disrespectful to my mom, man. You know what, man? I'm the descendants of royalty. Like my ancestors went through so much. Boy, they came across a whole freaking continent and across oceans, and some of them didn't even make it. I was one of the ones that made it. Like, it's something that's important about me. So I need to get this thing figured out. Gwendolyn just said, your test becomes your testimony. Now, I could not say it any like my test. All of the tests became my testimony. The mess that I went through became my message.
Woo. And I mean, but I mean, the people that you are freeing from this, it's just, I mean, you'll never know. You'll never know. I mean, somebody here is an adult that has probably never said anything, but may have experienced something similar. And just hearing that, just knowing that somebody else has been there, it takes that edge off. It makes them feel like, I'm not in this by myself. And this man has made it, and he didn't let that stop him. He didn't sit back and say, oh, you know, well, this happened to me, and now I'm going to, commit a crime. I'm going to be a statistic. Right. You made a choice.
Yep.
That what you really said, cause I'm not going to be a statistic.
That's exactly what I said.
You said, that's not going to happen to me.
It's not going to happen to me.
Yeah, I'm gonna go out here and make something of my life, and you definitely have done that more than I can even and can even express.
Yeah, man.
As tell me now, your kids they've grown up listening and watching you, and not only that, because you have to affect your family, your immediate family, but your extended family. How have they been affected by your motivation?
So, what's really crazy is not a whole lot of family members have probably even heard me give a speech like in person, because when I speak, it's normally like if I go speak at a school, right? Like nobody can, you can't come into a school because people crazy, what all
I
kind of
get
like.
it.
So
Right.
like when I'm speaking at a school, I mean, I've had some, like my aunt, she is like the matriarch of our family. When my grandmother died, she pretty much descended to that role. And when my aunt Vanetta, who we affectionately call Granny, when she came and heard me speak one time, like she was like moved to tears because I don't think she knew just like how powerful like I was as a speaker, and how I can just captivate an audience and take them on a journey through the story, and then get them to the message, and then get them to the finish line. And she was like blown away, man. And she always said, she said, Kyle, man, nobody knows your story. Nobody knows what you went through, and nobody can tell it like how you can. So she was like, hey, boy, you just keep telling that message. So that really made me proud, man. Because like I said, she is the matriarch. She is the backbone of our family. She is our like spiritual leader in our family when my grandmother died.
Oh, well, I can tell you, I want to make sure I'm going to put this up on the screen again. Those of you that would like to get in touch with Kyle, he travels. As we know, we're coming out of COVID now. I don't know if we're coming out or not, but anyway, I don't want to say it because I don't know. I know it's opening up.
Right.
But you do travel and you do shows also for people.
Yes.
People. Okay. I'm going to make sure, because I've been scrolling, make sure his website was scrolling across the bottom. I'll make sure it's scrolling across again. And I'm going to give a shameless plug, because he's absolutely right. If you're looking for someone to coach you on writing your book, I'm throwing mine out there.
Yes.
Contact me. Those of you not know how to contact me, you go to marydwelch.com. You can reach me right there, marydwelch.com. I'm trying to make it easy on you guys, and definitely come in and write that. I tell you, write the first book. I don't. And even then, I try to really reduce it, because people think a book and they make their minds make it, something bigger than it really is. And it really is. But I can tell you, having you and your energy, I'm listening to you, I'm getting fired up. I'm here going, okay, I need to do this, I need to do that. And it makes me want to do things I need to do, that I need to get done and need to take care of. So just know it is definitely infectious, that we infect other people, whether we know it, good and bad.
Right.
Positive and negative. So just your energy definitely affects people. The children that you talk to, like I said, there's no way to know which one of those kids that listen to you is going to affect their lives, really for the rest of their lives.
Yep.
It's not a small thing. But I think we don't want to take it for granted, ladies and gentlemen. Things I used to tell people when I taught as teachers, I was a teacher for years. I mention to people, the things we say to kids, it's like God said it.
Right.
We're taking it as words. It isn't. God spoke those words to us. And that's how, so the things that you're saying into young people's lives, you're speaking as though God is speaking to them. So always know that.
Yeah.
I want to make sure, ladies and gentlemen, contact this wonderful man that's out there motivating not only children, but adults too. We need to be motivated.
Yeah. So, I speak at companies. I speak at pharmaceutical companies. Like I speak, everywhere. It's just like my niche market is really just schools, students, administrators, educators, that field. But my message when it comes to changing your mindset, that's just as good for students as it is for adults.
All right. Well, I wanted to fight, or to, if you were to tell anyone starting out now, Kyle, what would you tell a young person? I'd tell you, this could be anybody, because it doesn't have to be a young person in life. What type of advice would you give anyone in life right now?
I would just say, figure out or find out that thing that you love to do. Like, what is it that you love to do, and you would do it even if you wasn't getting paid for it? Like, what's that one thing? When I was a kid, man, I used to always get in trouble for he talks too much in class without permission. Like, I just always felt like I just had to talk to people in my class. I had to talk to my friends. I had to talk to other students. And I just love talking. Like I do. Like my kids, man, they say I'll talk to anybody. Like I can strike up a conversation. I go in a room with 100 strangers. We come out as 100 associates. Like I'm going to talk to everybody in the room. I'm gonna make some type of connection somewhere. And I went from getting in trouble from talking, right, to now they pay me to come talk. Like
Isn't
how
that something?
I got in trouble for talking too much. Now I get paid for talking too much. Like that is super amazing.
Well, you found that was a love you basically had as a child, but didn't know it.
Right. And they saw it as like that was a love that I had, but they saw it as like a bad thing. It wasn't necessarily a bad thing. It was just something that I didn't know how to properly channel. And so find that passion that you have, because your passion will lead to your profits. Find your passion. Your passion leads to your purpose. Purpose leads to profit. I said that wrong. So find your passion. Your passion will lead you to your purpose. Your purpose then leads to your profit. So I'm passionate about like speaking. And then I got this thing, it say, do it with passion. Like that is my tagline. Do it with passion. Anything that you do. I don't care if you're selling homes, you selling cars. I don't care what it is. Whatever it is, you do it with passion. And your passion, it'll lead you to your purpose. Your purpose will one day lead you to your profits.
I tell you, I'm listening to you because like my husband's, I literally will be at the computer, sleep at the computer. And he's learned now. He doesn't wake, but I realize because I'm writing and and I love it so much that I don't even want to get up. I don't even want to get on the computer. I just want. So when you say with your passion and your purpose and all that, and then sometimes I wake up and I'm still at the computer and I go. I mean, something I do. I be thinking, okay, maybe it's something wrong. Until I heard somebody else say the same thing. They do the same thing. They'll be writing and they'll fall asleep at the computer and still. You know, that's my passion. That is my passion. So you're saying whatever that is for you. First of all, you have to find out what it is.
Right. And what's crazy, it's already in the inside of you. You just got to reach deep down inside of yourself. Like it's not found just on the surface level. Like you reach deep down within yourself and you'll tap into it. And then once you tap into it, man, like that's where the magic then happens, like in your life.
Do you see when I said you're about to make me get up and run in here? That's how I feel, Gwen. I'm telling you, I'm sitting here and I'm just like, it feels like he's want to get up and get going. You don't want to waste any time. You want to get going and do whatever it is that's in you, that you purpose to do.
Right.
It's passion, that's for sure. Whatever that may be. I know too. Here, let me make sure, because I know the comments, they come in. I want to make sure I acknowledge it. But I like to thank each and every one of you. If you're writing whether you're writing a comment or not, I do want everyone that's here, because we so appreciate you. We appreciate those of you that go to YouTube and subscribe to the Mary D. Welch Show. It is more than you know. I mean, I take every subscription. I actually try to go back and thank you personally. That's how much it means to me, because it means a lot that you subscribe to the channel. So it's definitely appreciated. I know too, those of you, if you may, maybe your thing, we've talked a lot about books. Maybe your thing isn't a book. What is it that your thing is? Let's go with that. Let's say you always want to be an artist, or I didn't know I would want to be a talk show host until I started having the show. But what is it that gets those creative juices going for you? Or as Kyle said, you would do if nobody paid you to do it. Right. Many may work in corporate America. If you're happy with that, that's good. But I find a lot of people are not, because they don't feel fulfilled in that.
Right.
That you feel fulfilled in. And nobody would pay, if they didn't pay you a dime, you still. I don't know. I say that because nobody is paying me right now, but I'm sure it's going to happen. Yeah. But I will still do it. I will still come on. What do they say? I'm planting seeds.
Yeah.
And so, and like Kyle said, he was talking before anybody ever paid him a dime.
Before anybody paid me a dime.
Corporate America has come knocking on his door and say, we'll pay you. We want to hear your story. We want to hear what you have to say. We want you to motivate not only our employees, our students, our nonprofits, corporations, universities. There is not a group that doesn't need to be motivated.
Especially now with like coming to the end of the pandemic. You are absolutely right.
Well, people are. I mean, we did. When my husband and I went out a few weeks ago, and I think we were so glad to get out to get out of the house. And not that we weren't happy to be here, but we needed a change. We just needed a change.
Hold on, Mary. So I just saw Jimmy Lee Rose, man. He just said something in the comments. He said, "Wow, finally found the right channel. Great conversation. I think we are people of habits." And the most positive thing you can do is keep on living and be ready for your opportunity to shine over and over again. Like it's a passion. Yo, like that. He just said everything. When I speak, I often say opportunities are never lost. They're passed to the next willing person that sees the advantage in the opportunity. So then I ask the audience, I say, look at the person sitting next to you. And then they turn and they look. I say, don't let that person take your opportunity to do something great in life. Like, bro, like we often, like something happened, right? Be like, dang, bro, like I had that idea. Like, dang, like why didn't I not think of that? Or why didn't I not do it? It's because you allowed your opportunity, like Jimmy just said, like you allowed the opportunity to pass you by and you wasn't ready for the opportunity. That's why it's good to have a coach. That's why it's good to do like personal development. That's why it's good to like read books, even though I don't read books like I should. I be trying, but I read a whole lot of articles. Like I read a lot. I just don't read books. That's why you got to always be developing yourself, getting yourself prepared. So when your opportunity come knocking at your door, right, like you are prepared and you are ready to grab it by the horns and then to take that passion that you have inside of you and then take advantage of that opportunity. But then what I also might say, you might say, but Kyle, what if that opportunity don't come knocking at my door? Excuse my French, Mary. You build your own damn door. Like I don't have to wait for the opportunity. If I have the skills and the resources and I know what it takes to build my own door, to present opportunities for myself. Social media, it connected both you and I, Mary. You in what, Riverside, California? I'm in Columbia, South Carolina. We 3 hours apart from each other, but the opportunity on Clubhouse brought us together. And then now I'm on your platform sharing my story. Like, how dope is that?
And I'm telling, and thank you, Jimmy. I know there was a couple other comments I didn't get a chance to hit. Another one came in. I think that's from Jimmy. And I tell you, this is actually my cousin.
Yeah.
One of my first cut. Thank you, Jimmy. He said, I finally found it. And Jimmy is so supportive of me. And you know, my whole family is. I have to honestly say. But when you have your family that they got your back, oh my goodness. And Jimmy he's definitely there. He said, what's up, Kyle?
What's up, cousin Jim?
So I would thank you, Jimmy. But I'll tell you, here we go. Just knowing, just being. And what you're really telling everybody, really, Kyle, is live.
Yeah.
There's no waiting. There is no, like you said, opportunity. This is almost 2 years ago, I hit the go live on Facebook. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I was shaking like a leaf. No, I'm not kidding. I was doing one of them when those, and at the same time I said, okay, you've never done this before, but you're not gonna get over this unless you do it.
Right. Right.
You got to do it. So those of you that think that Kyle wrote his book, he couldn't get past the first book until he wrote it. And then, like you said, the book with you and your daughter, you got to do it scared.
Right.
Yeah. And you were holding up the
cover. No. I just saw something that came in.
Okay. So I just wanted to, number one. I said, number one, I want to thank you. When I say thank you, Kyle, you are motivation to me, and you already know that. You keep me going. I don't think we've ever talked where I didn't just get up and start running around. And it feels like I have that cape on. I've become a superwoman.
Oh yeah.
That's what it means when you have a mentor like yourself, motivator. That is the difference, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure, like I said, get in touch with Kyle. I'm gonna put his information back up. Hold on here. You want, oh, there's Elaine Wilson. She has a comment too. Elaine, let me see her Wilson before I go. And that is, amen, Jimmy and Kyle. Oh yeah, you must hear this whole broadcast. Oh, you have to, Elaine. She said, Elaine is another strong supporter. She comes on every broadcast. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm going to put Jimmy's back up because Jimmy's was a long mess. I didn't get a chance to read everything, I don't think. But I know, did you send it? Okay. When we were young, just living. Okay, when we were young, we're just living through life. Did you read it already? You could have already read it.
I didn't read that one.
Okay, when you grow up, it's time to make moves and decisions. Yes, Mira, you have always inspired me. Oh, to inspire more. Oh, thank you, Jimmy. Educate up. I have to say I was stuck, but now I'm going to grow up. Praise the Lord. Thank you, Jimmy. I tell you, my cousins. I remember, now see this, I don't know if I'm telling my age, but I remember when Jimmy was born.
You might be kind of aging yourself.
I think I probably am. But you know what it is, though? It's saying that I remember the day Jimmy was born. I remember because it was a special day and because this special man was born.
Oh.
Make sure I know he really is. But to make sure I say to you, Kyle, thank you. Because like I said, I am not kidding. I'm going to get up from here and do some, Lavinia, I get to put her, the messages are coming. Lavinia said, it is so true about missing opportunities. I have missed so many. I'll have an idea, but I won't act on it because I think someone has already done that. You are very inspiring. You know what I learned from that, Lavinia? Do it anyway.
Right.
How many people are on podcasting? I have no clue. But you know what? I do like this. I don't look at what they're doing. I stay focused on what I'm doing. Don't worry about that. Just do. And this lady is very creative too. Very creative lady. So I want all of you guys to know there is nothing you can't do. It's all in which Kyle said at the very beginning. It's in our what? It's in our minds. It's all in our minds. Whether you can do it or you can't do it, it's still all in your minds, for sure. So I'd like to thank you again for coming and thank all of you who went to YouTube and you liked it, you subscribed it. I think you have to make a comment and they accept those or something. I don't know. I'm still learning about all this social media. Your comments, ladies and gentlemen, they mean a lot. And Kyle, okay, Kyle.
And hold on. And Mary, let me end with this. I end every anytime I speak, I end every message with this.
Okay.
Success in your life doesn't just happen. Every morning you wake up, you're given another opportunity to make it happen. Success is simply a mindset. And those who think that they can many times do, while those who think that they can't many times don't. How are you thinking? How do you view your current situation? Is it success or is it a failure? Are you basing your success on those around you? And if you are, who's to say that they're even successful? Quit looking into the mirror of others, trying to find a reflection of what your success looks like. Your success looks like you. You own your success. And if you stare off into your mirror long enough and you don't like what's reflecting back at you, only you, not your mother, not your brother, not your sister, your cousin, but only you have the ability to change it. So do something in your life that has never been done. Do something in your life that will cause your haters to stop and acknowledge your accomplishment. Achieve a goal that not even a family member said that you could do or had a chance on completing. Birth out that dream that lives in the pits of your belly. Birth it out into a world and make it one of the greatest realities that mankind has ever seen. Yes, you and not just me can do some amazing things. If only you just think that you can. Yes, you and not just your friend. You can defy all the odds. You can beat back all the stereotypes and you become whoever it is that you desire to be. Yes, you are not just a local businessman or businesswoman. One day you can have your own business, hiring your own people, being your own boss. You can do the unthinkable. If only you just think that you can. You can do the impossible. If only you believe in the endless possibilities that surround you each and every day. And guess what, y'all? You can reach heights that you once thought were unreachable. But first, you just got to be willing to reach out your hands. My name is Kyle Greene. I'm a show on the Mary D. Welch Show. I'm a guest on the Mary D. Welch Show. Thank you for having me. Peace.
Kyle, I got to get a copy of that. I'm going to tell you. Kyle, for coming. Thank you. Oh, my goodness. And please come back again. I mean that. Please come back again.
Yeah.
Woo! All righty. I love that. I'm going to be going back just to hear that. I'm going to put that and record it. Because what you're saying, you can do anything, ladies and gentlemen. The limit is what you believe. That's all it is. It's what you believe. So thank you again, Kyle. We really appreciate you. And we will see you again.
All right, man.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of our show. I'm going to tell you, there's 2 broadcasts. I couldn't even get them in. Sorry about that. I apologize. I couldn't get the messages in. But see you next Monday. I hope you enjoyed this broadcast. I definitely did. Like I said, I'm about to get up here and I'm going to hit the treadmill. That's what I'm going to do. Bye-bye, everybody.